So first let us see what is motive and what is subgraph. So when you want to understand a graph, you can see some smaller component of that graph, of a particular graph. And in that graph, so subgraph is a connected graph consisting of a subset of the nodes and link of a network. So generally, subgraph is a connected graph consisting of a subset of the nodes and link in the network. So for example, this is a subset. This triangular structure is a subset, which is consisting of 3 nodes, and 3 nodes are connected by the edges. So this triangular structure is here subgraph. Similarly, this parallelogram kind of pattern is also a subgraph. Whereas motifs are the subgraphs that have a significantly higher density in the real network than in the randomized version of the study network. So, for example, you see the density of certain subgraphs, some pattern. For example, this diagram you see here also there are some patterns which are more common than other patterns, and therefore the density of these subgraphs is higher in the real network than in the randomized version of the network. Understand, no? So, randomized network is an ensemble of maximally random network preserving the degree distribution of the original network. So, how will you make a randomized network? If you convert that real network, and the number of nodes and number of edges will be same, but only difference will be that connections are at random, not based on certain parameters or certain real situation. Is all randomly connected. So that is called randomized network. So randomized networks are the ensemble of maximally random networks preserving the degree distribution of the original network. So if degree distribution is preserved, means the number of nodes and the number of edges are also preserved. So you can see here. So this is the real network, and now this is the randomized version of the same network. Okay. So the subgraph will have the significantly higher density in the real network than in the randomized version of the that is called motifs. Now there are different types of motifs. For example, if you look at the transcription gene regulation, transcription regulatory regulation, you will find that in E. coli and Saccharomyces cerevisiae, you have this is called a feed-forward loop. X is regulating Y, Y is regulating Z, X is also regulating Z. Okay, so this pattern is called feed-forward loop. Okay, another pattern is called bifan approach, where X and Y, these are two different genes regulating Z and W, but X and Y function is overlapping, hence both are regulating Z and W. Okay. Similarly, there is also a motive in neurons. So, if, for example, if you see a small worm, nematode worm called C. elegans, it has got almost 252 nodes and 509 connections. And here you will get a feed-forward loop, just like a transcription regulatory network. And here also same feed-forward loop is present in case of a neuron C. elegans. And also there will be a bifan pattern. There will also be a biparallel pattern like this. In food web, you will find the C chains like this or biparallel like this. And also, tell me.
So I think the slides are not moving.
Not moving? Okay. This is a technical problem. I'm trying to put in slide mode so that you will understand better, but problem is now you can see. Now you can see.
So slide number 8, yeah. Slide.
Let me check. Yeah, now it is visible. But that is a problem. Once I go slide mode, you cannot see it. So you can see here that there are motifs and different kinds of motifs are there, and these motifs are very important. So the motif in realistic world. These are the motifs, different types of motifs in the realistic world, and this is also present in this kind of FFL feed forward loop or bifan or biparallel in case of electronic circuits also, in addition to the biological networks. So if you look at the motifs in biological network, there are regulatory networks, there are also protein-protein interaction network, and there is a metabolic network. And now here the genes are, the connection between the genes are based on one fact that one regulates the expression of other genes. So one gene regulating the expression of other gene. Now the motifs in biological network. This is the regulatory network, and this is Y is activating X, and Y is also inhibiting X. So there are two kind of control. One is the activator working as the activator. Y is activating X. Y is also inhibiting X. So this is a gene X. Gene X is making some transcription. Y is another transcription factor which is coming and binding to gene X. Okay. Now sometimes there is a phenomenon called autoregulation. So this X and Y are regulated by themselves. Okay. So X, the expression of X is regulated by X, the expression of Y is regulated by Y. This is called autoregulation. Okay. So you can find in this example ST12 gene code for ST12 protein, and this protein itself is regulating the expression of ST12. There is also multi-component loop, feed-forward loop already have discussed. There will also be some inputs like single input motif. This is called SIM. So one input, one LEAV3 gene is regulating 3 genes at a time. B1, BAT1, ILB2. So this is called single input model. Sometimes there are multiple input models. There will be multiple input and they are regulating multiple here also, targets also. So what is the significance of motif? Evolutionary conservation of subgraph, this is important. So they want all the subgraph, all the patterns which are more dominant or which are very prevalent in the network, they are conserved by evolution. Now natural selection, the purpose of natural selection is to maintain the function of these patterns. Okay. And the function, basically the function is not carried by a single component. So it's, for example, here one component is not that important. All the components are important. Therefore, the function of any particular function is done by the network of interacting subunits. And therefore, we expect that there is a tendency for evolutionary conservation of subnetworks that are capable of carrying biological function. Now, this is the example of autoregulation when X is regulating its own function, and more degradation, and this ultimately, when you want to reduce the function, this degradation of the molecules is required at the end. So this is the autoregulation versus protein degradation. So this is not that important. Let's keep this one. Another loop is called the feed-forward. You have X is regulating Y positively, of course, positively. Y is regulating Z, and X is also directly regulating Z. So this kind of pattern is very common and is known as feed-forward loop. Okay. Now there are different kind of feed-forward loop. For example, you have arabinose system, you have flagella, you have galactose utilization. Everywhere this kind of feed-forward loop is present, and you can see this is the coherent FFL, and this is incoherent FFL. So coherent FFL, you have X is regulating Y is regulating Z, X is also directly regulating Z. This is called coherent FFL. And sometimes X is activating Z, but also inhibiting Z through Y. Okay. So here the two modes of regulations are contrasting to each other. That's why it's called incoherent FFL. Here they are consistent with each other. X, both are activated. X is activating Z through Y, and also X is activating directly to Z. So this kind of pattern is called coherent FFL. So this is the most abundant type of coherent FFL is the most abundant type of motif present in a network, whereas incoherent FFL, one. So there are different type of coherent also. So coherent type 1 is the most prevalent. Incoherent type 1 is the second most prevalent pattern in a network. Okay. So feed-forward loop, what it does? Feed-forward loop basically it filter out the spurious spikes. So there may be some spikes, some signals, and these signals may not be the not be the real signal. Okay, and therefore there may be some spike will be there. So this kind of spike, it has got a delay function. Therefore, it detects the persistent stimuli only. Okay? It detects the persistent stimuli, that is stimuli which is continuously coming. Only that stimuli it will detect. Okay? So there is a sign-sensitive delay also in this pattern. So if there is an AND switch, it causes the rise time delay, and if there is a OR switch, it results in turn-up delay. So this delays the sign-sensitive delay in the process during the signaling. So coherent FFL will have a sign-sensitive delay, and whereas incoherent FFL will have persistent stimulus leads to spike of expression. So incoherent one, persistent stimuli. So these are the different type of topologically induced motifs in nature, and these motifs are, for example, if you see the first motif, this pattern. Here, how many? Here there are 3 nodes, okay, and there are 2 edges. So you can represent by n comma n. So 3 is the node, 2 is the edges. Like that you can represent. For example, here there are 3 nodes and 3 edges. So that's why 3 by 3. This is 4 nodes and 3 edges. That's why 4 by 3. This is 4 by 6. This is 4 by 6. This is 5 by 4. Like that, you will get this kind of pattern. And this is E. coli, and this is the transcription factor. So basically, if you look at this kind of pattern in transcription factor, and as well as the metabolic pathway and the protein network. So this is the transcription factor regulatory network of E. coli and the yeast. So you will find this kind of pattern in 12 times this kind of pattern, 19 times this kind of pattern. In metabolic network, you will find 101 times this kind of pattern. Cerevici, you find 72. So these are the different numbers that has been observed with the different patterns, whatever motifs you have found. This kind of motifs are very, very common. Okay, these are common in different kind of cells. So you can parameterize numerically. So this is the numerical description of a subgraph. Like there will be n nodes. Okay, there will be n nodes, and the central node connected to all of that, and it has got the images. So we can denote it by n comma m. And also this is n comma m, n by m. For example, this is the auto regulation. So here the product is auto-regulatory. So it is just stopping its own function. It's called 1 by 1. So here also you will find. Another way is a feed forward loop. Feed forward loop, as you know, is 3 by 3 pattern. So 3 nodes are there and also 3 edges are there. An example is the arginine star regulation, and it's regulating so many genes. Now, so when you are talking about a network, sometimes we look at the global view and sometimes we look at the local view. For example, if you are looking at this chart, you will see the whole chart, or you can just look at the small part of the chart. So, for example, here this is the network. Here we are looking at whether it is following power law or not. We are looking at global clustering coefficient. We are looking at global degree distribution. All these are the global views of the network. Whereas when you look at the local pattern, we look at the motifs. So what kind of motifs are there? It's FFL or autoregulatory or STEAM or multi-input multi-input motifs, different kind of motifs we can look at. So therefore, when we think global, we think about, as I told, this is whether it's following power law equation or not. Okay, and but in case of local comparison, we look at NM, and so we need how many nodes are there, and also how many links are there. So I think we will try to avoid this. So there is of course interplay between the scale. So abundance of the motif is dictated by scaling exponent. The scaling exponent is dictated by the frequency of the motif. So it is not that the global property of gamma is not affected by the abundance of motif. Of course, it is abundance by the motif. So if you can see this, the motif is more, it will have some effect on the gamma. You can see that the gamma is affected by the motifs. And also you can convert this network into sometimes you convert the giant component as smaller component. So this is the giant component and this is a smaller component. And this is true about transcription factor. This is true about metabolic network. This is true about input interaction network. So everywhere there is a giant component, a smaller component. So ultimately, what conclusion will come from network motif? That network motif is a recurring subgraph that causes a functional benefit, and it is having a functional role in the biological network, and there is a large scale attribute, and but the local patterns are also closely related. Okay. So today I have introduced you to basic motifs. Next day I will talk about different types of motif in detail, and I will also introduce you to one book. This book is written by Yuri Alon. Just you can see your syllabus. I have already given the reference of this book, An Introduction to Systems Biology. Design Principles of Biological Circuits. Okay, so the name of the book is An Introduction to Systems Biology by Yuri Alon. Yuri Alon, A-L-O-N. Okay, so you can download this book. Okay, there are different ways of downloading, you know. So you can download this book from the internet and read it. Is it fine? So today you have any questions? If you have any questions, you can ask.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
What
this
book you want me to write there? Okay.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
sir, can we have the second internal on 24th next Wednesday?
24th you want to have?
Yes, sir.
I don't have any problem. You can have, yes. So
Sir,
we will
what will be the
finalize the
portions?
syllabus also, no? We need to finalize the syllabus also.
Yes, sir. That's what we wanted to ask.
Okay. Okay, now I have shared the name of the book. You find the book. Okay, the 2-3 classes I will take from this book. So now we want it have on 24th, okay, next week. So now we need to finalize the syllabus. The syllabus of your okay. So we can have I have but I have covered only. Okay, 5th unit is done now. 5th unit. 5th is done. And 3rd is also done. 3rd. So
Sir,
tell me.
yes, sir. 3rd and 5th is done.
3rd and 5th is done. Only 4th is left. So we will have from 3rd and 5th. Fine.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So
Sir,
yeah, tell me.
sir, this is regarding assignment. Actually, could you please accept the handwritten mode of assignment also, sir? Because most of us are not having any subscriptions to the plagiarism checker. So, if you
I
consider
am
handwritten,
accept both. Handwritten,
okay,
typed also you can submit, but you need to check for plagiarism.
okay, sir. If it is handwritten, you can also accept that, no, sir.
See, I am going to accept everything. Don't worry.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So whatever I believe, all of you, whatever you write, I will believe. Okay.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
All pages you write and send to me. Don't take much worry for this on this problem. That's not
Yes,
the
sir.
problem. Focus on your work. Okay. Yeah. So assignment you try to finish by 30th, and by 24th you. So 24th we are going to have exam. Okay. So we will start around 11. And we'll finish at 12. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Is it fine? So units also is clear to you. Only 4th is left to be completed. That I will complete. Don't worry. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So thank you. We'll meet in for exam only. We are going to meet no Wednesday. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.